All right, shalom, shalom. We're the real Hebrew Israelites coming day in and day out to prophesy downfall of Babylon the Great, which is America. First off and foremost, all praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Karkadash. Double honors to the old apostles, a great millstone, and salutations to the elect, wherever you may be. It's the brother Shapaya from GMS Chicago coming at you again with a quick lesson to the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Today's lesson is really the reincarnation challenge. Since you have apologists, you have niggas of the circumcision that don't believe that reincarnation is biblical. All right, and for you so-called Christians, but I don't give it to hell with you guys. You ain't gonna understand it anyway. But for you guys that's in the know, that's part of the circumcision. All right, there are certain scriptures you just can't bounce around. All right, and I'm gonna go to 2nd Ezra 12, which chapters 11 and chapters 12 deal with the ancient Roman Empire as far as the first 12 Caesars. Okay, so upon this body, okay, let's get it, because in verse 11 it says, the eagle, this 2nd Ezra 12 and 11, the eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel, which is the fourth beast, which is the Roman Empire, right? So let's go to this interpretation of the three heads. There's three heads upon the eagle's body, right? Now the three heads represents the triumvirate, all right, which is Marcus Crassus, Julius Caesar, and Pompey. All right. Matter of fact, let me see. The triumvirate. Probably spelled it wrong, but whatever. All right. Let's see if we can get some information. I'm probably spelling it wrong, but whatever. Yeah, I spelled it wrong, but that's cool. We in this flesh. Marcus Crassus, Pompey, Julius Caesar. Okay, these are the three heads. All right, that came together. That really got the Roman Empire, pushed. All right, or the structure of it. All right. So Julius was the people person. Crassus had the money. Pompey was the military might. All right. Checks and balances. As you see, the Constitution of the Roman Republic was a complex set of checks and balances designed to prevent a man from rising above the rest and creating a monarchy. All right. And this is why this beast was so diverse from the rest of the kingdoms, because usually you'll have a king, a monarch, ruling over the whole land. So in this, you had, let me actually get it. Let me get it real quick. Senate. It should be Maccabees. First Maccabees 8 and 14. Yet, for all this, none of them wore a crown or was clothed in purple to be magnified therein. All right. Moreover, they had made for themselves a senate house wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting a way for the people to the end that they might be well ordered, and that they committed their government to one man every year who ruled over all their country, and that all were obedient to that one, and that there were neither envy or emulation amongst them. Which, trust me, envy and emulation came with the Roman Empire, right? When you get, spirit kind of taking me, going into this chapter. But when you get into this chapter, they were contrary. They were killing each other. You have one term called the year of 4 Caesars because you had these people assassinating each other. But with that being said and done, I just wanted to give a brief breakdown on that. Right, an oversight, if you will. Basically the breakdowns of 2nd Esdras 11 and 12. But here's the point, all right, because this is the interpretation. Verse 22, 12 and 22 of 2nd Esdras. And whereas thou saw 3 heads resting, this is the interpretation, all right? In the last, now, key word, resting. Now let me go to chapter 11 and 4. But her heads were at rest, and the head in the midst was greater than the other, yet rested it with the residue. So what does it mean? What does it mean to rest? All right. Let's get some scriptures on it. Job 3 and 13. For now shall I have been laid still and been quiet. I should have slept. Then had I been at rest. All right. Job is talking about dying. Basically he said, shit, I should have been dead at birth. All right. This is how miserable this life we live is. Sometimes you just want to fucking perish, man. All right. Verse 16. Or as in a hidden untimely birth, I had not been, as infants which never saw light. There, where's the there? The spiritual world. There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest. There the prisoners rest together. They hear not the voice of the oppressor. The small and great are there. The servant is free from his master. All right. Wherefore is light given to him that is in misery, and life unto the bitter in the soul, which long for death, but it cometh not, and dig for it more than hid treasures. So this is talking about the grave, death. When you rest or you're sleeping, it's representing you passing or dying or being in the spiritual realm. Just like Yahushua told the little girl, he told her that she's just sleeping, right? And they laughed. So back to 2nd Esdras 11 and 4. But the heads were at rest, and the head in the midst was greater than the other, yet rested it with the residue, right? Now, I'm going to kind of jump around a little bit. Let me jump down to 8. Watch not all at once. Sleep everyone in his own place, and watch by course. Because what's going to happen? He's going to have one ruler who's going to come, rule, die, then the next one's going to come up. They weren't going to all rule basically together, all right? One certain man had a certain time to come rule, then he died, then the next man came. So that's why it says watch by course. Sleep everyone in his own place, right? But check this out, verse 9. Let the heads be preserved for the last. And I beheld. Okay, so let the heads be preserved for the last. That's the point, right? Now, let's go back into 2nd Esdras, 12th chapter, 22nd verse. It says, and whereas thou sawest 3 heads resting, this is an interpretation. In the last days shall the Most High raise up 3 kingdoms, and renew many things therein, and they shall have dominion over the earth, and of those that dwell therein, with much oppression, above all those that were before them. Therefore are they called the heads of the eagle. Okay? For these are they that shall accomplish his wickedness and shall finish his last end. All right? Whereas thou sawest the great head appear no more, it signified that one of them should die upon his bed, yet in pain. And for the 2 that remain, shall be slain with the sword. For the sword of one shall devour the other, but at last he shall fall through the sword himself. All right. And whereas that saws the two feathers under the wing. Now check this out. Who is these three heads that woken at the end? That wakened at the end. All right. You had Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian. All right. Vespasian died upon his bed. I believe he got sick. And Titus was killed by Domitian. Okay. Those three heads that were at rest. Now we started with the first triumvirate. Julius Caesar, Marcus Crassus, and Pompey. They all came back as the Flavian dynasty. Right? Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian. That's reincarnation. There's no other way to explain this but to believe that reincarnation is real. Now, listen, every man can be persuaded in his own mind, but this is secular history, and this is what the scriptures say. All right? And that's pretty much it, man. Because when you actually get into this, you will understand that the three heads, all right, were the last three feathers. They're one and the same, all right? Because what's the head of the body? It starts the body. You have the head, then you go down to, I'm speaking in human terms, head, shoulders, you walk up the band from top to the bottom. In this case, you have the eagle, the head, it go to the shoulders, breast, wings, all down to the goddamn feet, right? So who really headed this republic? It really started with, and I'm not talking about Romulus and his brother. I'm talking about the construct of the actual Roman Empire actually came to play in power, all right, especially under Esau Edom, was with the first triumvirate. Julius, Caesar, Marcus Crassus, and Pompey. All right. One had the money, one had the people, one had the military might. They all three came together collectively to create the so-called how do I say way of life, Roman way of life, so to speak. All right. And guess what? It's the same thing you have today. It's the same thing you have today, man. They construct, all right, their morality chart, their law, the way they live was, they came together collectively, and this is how they did it. Like I read in Maccabees, that Senate house, that's what they brought together, and that's how Rome operated, all right? But it says, but her heads were at rest, which means they were asleep. One point in time, they died. But they woke back up, all right? They awakened back up as who? Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian, man. Okay? And that's all in the scriptures. Matter of fact, let me go to it. Now it says, I'm starting at verse 29. And when they thought, behold, there awakened one of the heads that were at rest. Namely, it was in the midst, for that was greater than the other two heads. And why was he greater? Because it was Vespasian, the father of the other two, right? And I saw that the two other heads were joined with it, all right? Because this is the Flavian dynasty, okay? And behold, the head was turned with them that weren't in it, and did eat up the two feathers upon under the wing that would have reigned. Because Vespasian had he had his hand in killing either Glabra or Otho. All right. I have to dig into the history. I could pull it up on Google real quick, but look up this term called the Year of the Four Caesars. Okay, that's cool. Where was I at? Verse 32. But this head put the whole earth in fear, Vespasian, all right, and bear rule in it over all those that dwelt upon the earth, with much oppression, and it had the governance of the world more than the other wings that had been. All right, Vespasian put hell upon everybody, namely the Israelites, man. All right. And after this I beheld, and lo, the head that was in the midst suddenly appeared no more, like as the wings. But there remained two heads, which also in like sort ruled the earth. They ruled the earth just like their father Vespasian did it. All right. And over those that dwelt therein. And I beheld, lo, the head upon the right side shall devour it that was upon the left side. Okay. And this is going to something else, but Salakia. Because I just want to touch on the heads, all right? Because ultimately, Yahweh Shai is going to come and do away with this whole goddamn way of life. But nonetheless, all right, those three heads, all right, chapter 12 gives you the breakdown of what happened, all right? And it said one shall appear no more. He died upon his bed. Vespasian, he fell sick and died, right? Right. Some say he was poisoned, this and all that. He died upon his bed. All right. Now in verse 28, it says the sword of one shall devour the other, but at the last he shall fall through the sword of himself. Right. Domitian, matter of fact. Right. And you see those years, all right, between 69 and 96 AD. Hey, then what happened in 70 AD? All right. So you see Vespasian with his two sons, Titus and Domitian. And the scripture said what? They ruled in the same like manner as the first head, all right, which was Vespasian. All right. Right, here it go. Hey, I told you, year of the four emperors. After Glaber and Otho died in quick succession, Ventilius, I forget about Ventilius. I became emperor in mid 69, and his claim to the throne was challenged by the legions. All right, so you can look into this. Hey, it gets good, but principle of me bringing all this out, those heads were arrested at first. All right, which was the first triumvirate. They came back, okay, as Vespasian, Domitian, and Titus. All right, those same three: Julius Caesar, Marcus Crassus, and Pompey. All right, that's called reincarnation. Okay, how do you explain? What's that? 2 Samuel, the 7th chapter, about Solomon being beaten with the stripes of men. All right, Solomon was never beaten. Solomon died on his deathbed. So that's the spirit. The Lord isn't a man that he shall lie. That's immutable. All right, that's the thing that the Lord can't do. So if he said if Solomon committed iniquity, which Solomon did, he said that he would be beaten with the stripes of men or rod of men. I think it's the stripes of men. All right. That came to pass. Not as Solomon, but as Yahweh Shai. That's reincarnation, man. Galatians tell you that Isaac is Christ. All right. Verbatim. All right. I'm saying that so you could get it. But it says that Isaac is Mashiach. All right. You have the blind man. All right. In John, what's that? John the 8th chapter. Okay. And then I'll end it with the Daniels. Let me get this real quick. And so, like, if I was a little bit everywhere, I just wanted you to get the context of the actual chapter. I had to dig into that history a little bit. But nonetheless, those, like I said, those heads came back as certain people, right, which is reincarnation. All right. Verse 4. Daniel 4. But thou, Daniel, shut up these words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge should be increased. All right? Hold on. Where is it at? Where is it at? Shit, a moment ago, I heard him acting. Time and a half scattered. Come on. Hold on. All right, I was probably looking right over it. Right, it's the last verse. I know it wasn't tweeting. Salakia. But here it go. It says, but go thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the days. Right, which those days are now. The end of days wasn't when Daniel was actually walking on the earth. Yahweh, at the end of days started when Yahweh Shai started to walk the earth. But what did the Spirit tell Daniel? But go thy way till the end be. And we at the end, ain't we? All right, Daniel done came and died and passed away. All right, for thou shalt rest. And then it says, and stand in thy lot at the end of days. So Daniel's just not sitting up there in the spiritual realm just waiting for Yahweh Shai to come back. No, Daniel's somewhere down here, man. All right, standing in his lot. All right, just like all the other prophets are standing in their lot. John the Baptist is one of the, like, I don't understand. I do understand. Your spirit just ain't letting you niggas know the mysteries, man. The Lord done blocked your heart. All right, but to you niggas that once knew this, now you turning and manipulating the manuscript. You guys are going off, man. You're going off. Okay? A lot of you guys should be ashamed of yourselves, man. Reincarnation is in every aspect of this book, man. If it wasn't, then shit. She will be without hope, man. Shit, if that's the case, why did it tell Peter where's it at? Oh, converted, wake, strengthen your brothers. Luke 22 and 32. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. When did Peter ever get converted? He was already converted. So when and what time will he need to be converted again? It's called reincarnation. That's simply put, man. Hey, so with that, I got a lot of angles I could go, but that's pretty much the premise, man. If you don't get it by now, if you just want to change it because you feel a certain way, then, hey, that's on you. You don't supposed to diminish or add unto the word, man. So with that, hey, all praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Karkadash. Double honors to thee, all the apostles, the great millstone, salutations to the elect, wherever you may be. Abba.